Hello, welcome to Dundroro's podcast. I'm your host Justin. Today we're doing our Easter special. I know we're a couple days late, but better late than never, right? Today we're reviewing the 1999 film Resurrection, which is directed by Highlander director Russell Mulcahy, starring Christopher Lambert, Leland Orser, Robert Joy, Barbara Tyson, and Rick Fox. So this is a horror crime thriller, also a murder mystery film, and it takes place during Easter, and you can tell by the name that it does. This movie, I used to love this movie. And there was a point, I first watched this movie when I was a teenager. I watched this film, like, I went, after watching Highlander, I went and watched a bunch of Christopher Lambert movies, and I love Christopher Lambert, but he is not the greatest actor in the world, and he has been in a lot of not great movies. I think, besides from Highlander, there's only only a handful of actually good Christopher Lambert movies. And I consider I consider this film one of those. But like a while ago, actually it was like a year or so. I don't know when exactly, but like one of my YouTube friends, Rudy Land, who sadly enough doesn't upload anymore, who had a great movie review podcast, and they covered this movie, and they trashed the hell out of it. They trashed the hell out of it, saying it was a shameless, shameless 7 ripoff, that bad acting, bad direction, bad everything, right? And in my opinion, I loved the movie, so I had to go back and watch it to see if it was any good. So the movie is an hour and 47 minutes. The movie is about Christopher Lambert plays this New Orleans Cajun homicide detective, which he's supposed to be Cajun in the movie, but that's obviously a French accent. Or whatever. I think he's from France. I can't remember. Right. And he's a homicide detective working in Chicago. He's originally supposed to be from New Orleans, whose son died, and he kind of lost his faith. Right. He's like a bit antisocial. Nobody at his department liked him except for his partner, played by Leland Orser, who you might recognize from Seven and a bunch. He's actually a good character actor. We reviewed a couple movies that he was in, right? And his partner, like, main characteristic is he tells a lot of bad jokes. So they get a call, and they get a call for a murder scene. Homicide scene where a man, a 33-year-old man, is missing an arm, right? And the arm was hacked off while the man was still alive, and the man was owned like a fisher, a fishing company, right? So more bodies pile up, and all the men are 33 years old and are missing a limb, right? And Easter is weeks away, so they figure out, the serial killer is rebuilding the body of Christ, right, in time for Easter, right? While this is going on, there's an FBI agent shows up, there's a great scene right before the FBI agent shows up, the Christopher Lambert, which I love this line. He's like, he gets told, hey, there's the FBI profile there, and he's like, what the fuck is he gonna tell me? That he's a white male, 25 to 45, antisocial, white male, and he meets the FBI agent, and he pretty much just repeats what he said. Yeah, and like I don't want to spoil the main twist of the film, but it's like this movie is famous for like the serial killer with the weird rubber mask who constantly fucks with our heroes, right? And also David Cronenberg is in the film, which David Cronenberg, also was also in Nightbreed, right? Where he played famous horror film director David Cronenberg played a serial killer in the Clive Barker film Nightbreed. Plays like a priest and a Catholic priest in this one, which is very weird because he's a well-known atheist, right? He had the original ending for Videodrome changed because he didn't like the religious undertones, right? So like him playing a Catholic priest was weird. But like why I bring him up because he played like a masked serial killer in Nightbreed, and like the masked serial killer in this film, they're very similar, right? How they're like they're like smart, intelligent men, and like they like to fuck with psychology, like fuck with people, right? So the movie, I thought there was like a lot of great cinematography. The acting was a little weak, but I thought the character actors that they didn't get like a lot of famous actors. They did a good job with what they worked with. Though I think the movie was shot in Canada because I noticed some Canadian character actors in the film, but I could be wrong. One of the character actors in the film is like the football player from the Oz, who's in the who's in the film, right? Yeah. So like, and there's some cool cinematography in the film, though that there's a lot of fisheye lenses, right? Fisheye lenses. There's like this scene where like where the main character has a flashback, right? And you have this like Sam Raimi like camera work that's like that's really like kinetic and like really high energy, which was I thought that scene where he's like having a flashback with while he's in the house and like he's looking out the window, that cinematography wise, like the camera work there was really good. My problems with the film, and there are problems with the film, it's a bit too long, right? And then there's these weird there are some dumb shit in the movie, right? Where where he gets chewed out from like fellow detectives, right? Because he shows up to like the case, but he's like, I was ordered here, right? And then he gets called after he gets chewed out by the detectives. He gets he gets called into the deputy chief or whatever, the guy who runs the homicide department, like saying like, oh, you need like giving him shit for gaining arguments with his fellow cops when he was the one who put him on the case in the first place, right? So that was dumb. There's there is dumb shit in the movie, there is dumb shit in the movie, like some of the dumb the jokes they have are really bad, and like there's weird scenes where characters have that felt like, oh, they were only put in there just to tell you this is this is character building stuff, right? That felt out of place. Like the first half of the movie is kind of weak, but once the twist with the serial killer happens, it really picks up, right? It really picks up, and the climax was good, and the reveal inside the house, where you finally get to see the the rebuilt body of Christ or whatever that the serial killer put out, like artistically was really good, and like the reactions of all the cops like puking, like, oh shit, what the fuck, right? People like, you know, people have made fun of that, but I thought that was, you know, that was really good. The the problem, the other problem with the movie is the movie does really try hard to, like, you know, copy Seven, because there was like, you know, dialogue and lines from this movie where it's like straight up they took it from Seven, right? Like the conversation, because like in Seven, I think there was like a conversation about like that like, you know, Brad Pitt's character had with Morgan Freeman. Hey, why do these crazy fuckers do what they do, right? And they had, like, you know, Christopher Lambert's character has that conversation with his partner, right? So that sucked, right? But like, yeah, the gore in the movie I thought was really good, and there's a great scene where he stumbles upon, like, you know, he figures out who the next victim is, goes to his house, and finds the dude like tied up and with his leg missing, he's like bleeding out, and the leg wound looked really real, man. It was very realistic, and he goes up and he's getting blood shot up over his face, man. Like really tense dramatic scene, right? So I don't know. I like, the movie has its problems, but I thought it's a decent film, and I really another thing they copied from Seven is that at night it's always raining. So it's like, what the fuck? Oh my god, they even copied that. But yeah, there is like a very clever twist in the film, which I do not want to spoil, but it's great, man. Like I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, like, make sure to check out the film. The movie is free to watch on Tubi. Make sure to check it out. It's worth a watch at least once, in my opinion, right? Especially for the twist. And if you're a fan of like movies, of TV shows like Dexter and, like, you know, Hannibal, and how they always, like, the serial killers always display the bodies in artistic ways. Like, yeah, they do that here, and it's done very well, right? In my opinion, it's done very well. Though the music, I thought there was like the music, like, stuff would happen and like it didn't really fit. Like, the music really didn't fit, so I thought that sucked. But overall, I thought the movie was good and it's worth watching at least once. It's on Tubi. It's on Tubi. Just watch it. It's, you know, in my opinion, it's, you know, I want to give it a 6.5, but like after the points I have, it's only a 6 out of 10. But for a movie that's like a try hard 7 ripoff, you know, it's very entertaining, and you know, it really blew me away as a teenager when I first watched it, and it still kind of holds up in my opinion, right? Yeah, so that's it for this review, guys. Peace.